I think you never really know what the temperature in a poker room is going to be. Could be 58, could be 88. You got to be prepared for both.
What are your thoughts on randomizing?
I would say in general, my thought on randomizing is it's overrated. I think a lot of top pros do it sometimes and aren't always honest about how they do it or the spots that they do it. Randomizing, you're basically trying to imitate a computer strategy which uses different actions at different decision points at random percentages. Not random, but you'll see a lot of players use a chip. You look at a chip and you use it almost like a clock. And if it's here, it might be 100%. This might be 25. This might be 50. This might be 75. I don't do it often. I do use it in certain spots. I think personally, for me, randomizing makes more sense at earlier decision points in the hand. I think pre-flop, certain scenarios, it's good. On the flop, it's good. Personally, on the river, I really don't want to leave things up to fate too much. I know a lot of players will use it. Oh, I'm supposed to bluff sometimes here, I'll randomize. We usually do that. So I think it's something that does happen, not something you need in your game, but certainly is there at high stakes.
What are some good spots to 3-bet weaker hands?
3-betting weaker hands would be whenever you think a player is getting out of line, opening too much. I think those are good players to attack because if they have such a weak range, if they're playing hands they're not supposed to or too wide, then they're going to have a hard time dealing with 3-bets. Also, I think shallow from the big blind, you start to see some really weak hands being 3-bet. Hands like King 2 offsuit, King 3 offsuit. If we're playing shallowish depths versus late position opens, you'll see some of those hands get put in a 3-bet range where you'd like to play them. They have some blocker removal qualities with a hand like that. It blocks ace king. So you'll see some hands like that get 3-bet out of the big blind, even some queen X too at shallower stack depths.
What is the best position for a bluff?
The best position for a bluff. In general, you want to bluff in a situation where it makes sense that you have a good hand. You have to tell a believable story. And it also helps to have a good image. I think keep that in mind, who you're playing against, what they know about you, how they've seen you play. All those things go into painting a picture that you have a good hand. And in this certain scenario, there's so many factors that could lead to you having a good hand that maybe you can bluff without the hand.
How is play different closer to the bubble?
With bubble play, as you get close to the money, the short stacks really have to play a lot tighter, and you'll see the bigger stacks at the table opening very liberally, almost 82 cards in a lot of spots, just because short stacks are incentivized to wait it out and make the money. And if they are playing, they're typically reshoving, where you're not seeing a ton of flops and you can get away with a lot of opens. And you'll often see the big stacks battling a little bit pre-flop because of this dynamic, where you'll see some 3-betting or even 4-betting, 5-betting with weak holdings, just because everyone's aware of this dynamic where the big stacks are trying to run over the table.
What are your backpack must-haves for a day of tournament play?
I've got a jacket in there, charger, I would say, phone charger. You don't want to be on hour 8 of 14 and your phone goes dead. I would put that in there. Maybe snacks, water bottle. I don't always bring food, but those are really the 3 main things. I don't know what else you would put in there. Money, I guess, rebuy money or re-entry money, I would say.
What are the best snacks to prevent tournament brain fog?
I see a lot of players eating like nuts and things like that, like clean energy stuff for snacks during a poker tournament. Me, I don't typically eat much during a tournament. I'll be coffee or green tea. I think caffeine kind of helps a little bit when it gets late, keep you focused. But typically for me, especially if I'm deep in a tournament, I don't get that hungry where I'll wait till the end of the day to eat, or even on dinner breaks, I usually don't eat. I'll just go lay down in my room or something.
What are your tips to find out if a player is bluffing?
In figuring out if a player's bluffing, obviously you have the body language. So how do they look? What's going on there? Have they played other hands? Have you seen them show down other strong hands? Have you seen them show down other bluffs? What did that look like? What did their sizings look like in their hand? What did the way they bet look like? All those live factors. And then also the strategy. Does their story make sense? Is this a spot where they could be taking this action with a certain hand that's value? Does it make sense? And then putting that together with their image too. How are they playing? Are they playing a lot of hands? Are they playing wild? Have they been folding for 6 hours and now all of a sudden they're all in? That guy's probably not bluffing. Putting all those pieces together in trying to determine whether or not someone's bluffing.
Who do you not want on your rail?
Who do I not want on my rail? Anybody that is gonna like make me nervous, where they're so nervous that I start to like feel the energy. My wife and my mother are probably the two. I'd like them to be there in theory, but they get so nervous about me playing that it almost like psychs me out, where I don't want anyone on the rails. They should be cheering. It should be light. It should be fun. I don't really like people who are sweating too hard where it's getting heavy or emotional or anything like that.
Can you explain the difference between implied odds and pot odds?
Implied odds are when you're putting in money in the goal of winning more money later. So this is often used with drawing hands, even a hand like a pocket pair. You can talk about implied odds pre-flop, where you're going to put in some chips now for the prospect of, oh, if I hit my hand, I'm going to make more money later. So you'll see this a lot with draws, and there's math involved in that, which kind of comes with pot odds, where pot odds is more how much is the bet I'm facing compared to the pot, where am I getting the right price to call, where if a guy bets half pot, you're getting 3-1 to call. So it's a matter of doing the math on what odds the pot is laying you, and then the strength of your hand. How often do you think you're going to win? So those are two different concepts, but they can be used together, especially when you're talking about drawing hands.